Hello teacher, my name is Tawanarong.
Today, I will show you 5 ways to answer questions about your work. What do you do? Is one common way to politely ask about someone's job, studies, or whatever else they spend most of their time doing. Similar questions you will hear are, what do you do for work? What do you do for a living? It's important to note asking, what is your job, profession, or occupation? Sounds very official and unfriendly. So don't ask this question unless you're in an office environment. The first and most common way to answer is to use I am a blank. I am a teacher. I am a student. Remember that I am sounds more formal and it's more common to shorten it to I'm a doctor. After you answer, it's polite to also ask the person what they do. I'm a lawyer. What do you do? I'm a writer. How about you? If you want to say the name of the company you work for, you can use the pattern I work for blank. For example, I work for Google. I work for Samsung. Next, sometimes even when you say your job title, people don't understand exactly what you do. In this situation, you can say, I work in the blank department. For instance, I work in the IT department. I work in the HR department. You can also shorten the sentence. I work in blank. I work in sales. I work in marketing. After saying your job title and company, a common question you will hear is, how long have you been working there? Or, how long have you been in that line of work? Then you can use the phrase, I've been working in the department, at the company, as a job position, for or since some time. The preposition for is followed by an amount of time. I've been working in IT for 3 years, whereas the preposition since is followed by the time you started the job. I've been working at Google since last year. Lastly, if someone asks, do you enjoy your work? Or, do you like your job? These are some ways you can answer based on how you feel about your work. Overall, I love my job. This means even if there are some bad parts, you like it. My job is quite stressful. This means your job is quite difficult and busy. If you feel a little more positive, you can say, my job is quite stressful, but I like it.
My job is quite stressful, but I like it.
What do you do for a living?
I work in nonprofit. I work in nonprofit. I work in nonprofit. I've always worked with seniors, and I try to give back.
Oh, good for you. Good for you. What do you do?
I work in non-profit.
What do you do for a living? 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 What do you do for a living?
I work in nonprofit. I work in nonprofit. I work in nonprofit. I've always worked with seniors, and I try to give back. I've always worked with seniors, and I try to give back. I've always worked with seniors, and I try to give back. I've always worked with seniors, and I try to give back. I've always worked with seniors, and I try to give back. I've always worked with seniors and I try to give back. I've always worked with seniors and I try to give back. I've always worked with seniors and I try to give back. I've always worked with seniors and I try to give back. I've always...
Oh, good for you. Good for you. 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 Oh, good for you. Good for you.
Your kid uses diapers still.
Yes.
And
He's 14 months.
well, I don't know.
You just want to determine, what do you think? Is there something there?
Oh, that's a poo! Did I ever have like any like really gnarly poops?
To this day, you still do.
That's a big one.
It's a big one.
It got up to your leg. How did that happen? You had an office job before you had him.
No, I mean, I worked at BuzzFeed. Can't be wimpy about this. I mean, you know, it's a demanding job. I mean, you know, it's
It's a demanding job.